like a dreamer. Fly all over the world. Open your shut so the world can see. You're a beautiful pearl. Live your day like you mean it. And don't forget who you are. You're free to go anywhere. There's no distance too far. And I just can't get enough of your energy. I just can't get enough. You're the spark shining in the dark. Oh, 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 love.
Welcome to It Is What It Is with Cindy Seville. I am so excited you're here. It Is What It Is a show all about real people, real life adversity, overcoming adversity, and inspiring others. So with that said, let's get into mitzvah time. A mitzvah. What's a mitzvah? You all know by now, it's a good deed. I challenge you every day to do a good deed, do a mitzvah, and tell me about it. Reach out to me. I want to learn about them. I'm going to tell you a mitzvah that the Law Dogs did, and we're going to have the Law Dogs on the show today. So a special mitzvah. I reached out to a friend of mine, Dave, who is a Law Dog. He's a member of the Law Dog, which is a motorcycle club. And I asked him for help. I said, Dave, listen, Dave, I need help. I don't know how to do this. I'm doing a bike run for breast cancer. And he said, I'll help you. And let me tell you, not only did Dave come through, a whole bunch of his brothers from the club came through. And it would not have been a success if it wasn't for those guys. So I want to thank you for the special mitzvahs that you all did. You really helped a dream of mine come true and start something, an annual bike run that we're going to do together. So thank you. That's a special mitzvah. These guys totally went out of their way to make sure that the bike run was a success, and it really was. The first one ever that I've done, and it was a big success thanks to Dave, his crew, and the Law Dogs. So thank you guys. I really shout out to all of you. I appreciate it. It's a mitzvah. So giveaway. This is the giveaway. My book, It Is What It Fucking Is. And make sure you comment, like, and share. It's a book full of fucks. You're going to love it. It's really interesting. You won't be able to put it down. You're going to laugh. You're going to cry. And you're going to see... You're going to learn about me and my twisted sense of humor. So make sure you comment, like, and share. It's a way to win. When we come back, you're going to meet two fabulous guys, Bob and Eddie. And they are also known as, they're also known as the Rooster and the, thank you, Wolverine. The Rooster and Wolverine, those are their nicknames in the club. So when we come back, you're going to meet both of these wonderful guys. We'll see you right after this commercial break.
Silvermine at Home, a Connecticut-based non-medical home care agency servicing Connecticut and parts of New York. Silvermine caters to their clients' needs while offering peace of mind to their families so their loved one can age in place and live their best life possible. Call today to see how they can make a difference in you or your loved one's life. Our family caring for yours. Visit silvermineathome.com or call 203-228-5007.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is with Cindy Seville. We have Wolverine and we have Rooster here today with us. I got it right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Wolverine and Rooster, welcome to the show.
Thank you for
So
having
where
us.
do you come from?
Well, I'm coming from Portland, Connecticut.
And I'm coming from Oxford, Connecticut.
Yeah, my hometown.
Yeah.
So you had quite a ride, but you made it.
Yes.
Yeah, traffic was
I know. It's always. I
Yeah.
make the ride every time I come in to record, and it's so worth it. I love Bobby here that works, that runs the studio,
Yeah.
and I love the studio. I love what I do. Very committed. It's a long ride.
Yeah,
It's a hike.
definitely.
But so tell me a little bit about yourselves. You are obviously, you look badass, the two of you sitting on a pink froofy.
Yeah. It's okay.
So
We're
fun.
comfortable wherever we are.
Right.
Yeah.
Real men can hang out in pink, right?
That's right.
Exactly.
Yep. Been there, done that.
You're surrounded by pink.
Yes.
That's right.
So these vests, obviously, we're going to get into the club that you're in, the Law Dogs, which is an awesome, awesome club. I'm big into clubs in the biker world and get into that afterwards also. But tell me a little bit about, the Law Dogs. It's laws, it has law in there. Are you both law enforcement?
I'm actually a correctional officer, so on our club, I'll be on the law enforcement side.
And I'm not a law enforcement officer. So
What do you do?
I'm a property manager.
Oh, awesome.
So I manage a bunch of properties.
Awesome.
So-
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about your career. We'll start with you,
Okay, so
Wolverine.
I'm
Eddie.
currently I'm a correction officer for the Department of Corrections in Connecticut. I've been doing that, getting close to 5 years.
Wow.
Prior to that, I was a Buildings and Ground Patrol officer for another agency that was dealing with the juvenile prison. And then prior to that, I was a private investigator. So a lot of the jobs I've had surrounded on
Yeah.
the law enforcement side of it, or criminal justice field.
Right.
But yeah, so far I got another 3 years, and I am done.
Wow. And you're young for that.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the advantage and just get a part-time job, spend time with the family.
Yeah. Benefits of working for the state.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
should have done
definitely. Definitely.
that. So you worked in the county jail, right?
Yep, I'm
Or
in the county jail.
You are now.
Yes.
Okay.
So obviously the county jail is different than the regular prison. Where I'm at is basically everybody that had just gotten arrested. They haven't gone to court yet, so this is all
Okay.
pre-sentence
Okay.
people.
So it's the first stop, basically.
Yeah, it's the first stop. So pretty much I definitely seen everything and anything that you can possibly see. The sad part is that when it becomes normal,
Yeah. Yeah. When it's
It's
not
little-
surprising anymore. Right.
After a
Right.
while, when we get the call and we'll find out, somebody's ODing or somebody's,
Yeah.
they're coming in already intoxicated, stuff like that.
Yeah.
We've had the fentanyl stuff come in.
That's horrible.
So
That's
I
just
mean,
horrible.
our job literally is anything could happen at any given moment. It's dangerous.
Yeah. I guess you never know what's coming
You know,
in.
you
Wow.
know, but
So you
it's,
get murderers, and you get drug
Yeah.
dealers, and you get all of that.
And the crazy
Speeding
part,
tickets.
yeah, I mean, even it's down to like the most minute
Right.
misdemeanor,
Right.
gotten arrested type deal, and it's crazy because in our facility, like you don't know. For me, when
Yeah.
I'm working in there, I don't
Yeah.
look up everybody's background. I don't
Right.
look up the record. I don't look
Right.
up anything. I treat everybody the same.
Right. Which
I
is
treat everybody
admirable.
as a human
Yeah.
being, and I tell them, not the one that arrested you.
Yeah.
I'm not the one that put you in here.
Yeah.
I'm just here to make sure you're
You're
following
doing
the
your
rules,
job.
everybody's safe, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's amazing that when you do stumble upon finding out, why so and so is here for, and why, and you're like, you never thought of it because it's like, I heard about that in the news,
Yeah.
but it didn't dawn on me or click.
Yeah.
This is the guy that I'm dealing with.
Right.
But it's an interesting job. It's not for everybody,
Yeah.
but it's definitely keeps you on your toes.
Yeah. Every day must be different.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never know what you're gonna walk into.
There's never a dull moment.
Right.
I'll definitely say that. There's never a dull moment.
Wow. And you have a family.
Yes, I have a daughter. I have a son. One just turned 6. The other one's 4.
Oh, nice.
So I got young ones.
Nice.
That's why I want to look into, once I retire, get a part-time.
Yeah.
Because they're still going to be young and I can spend time with
What
them.
a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Really?
Not too many people get that.
No, you're
But this
very
is
lucky.
this is one of those that I can do it because I have the time.
Yeah. No, you're very lucky. And you're young enough that you're going to be a young dad and, be able to spend the time. Good for you. Good for you. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. Well, Rooster.
Bob is good.
Bob. Yes, Bob.
Yeah.
Bob from Oxford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, I started working in very large facilities. I was the facility manager for the Hartford for
Oh, wow.
15 years. I went to Cigna and computer sciences, really big companies. And I got the opportunity to do a little downsizing as I'm sliding towards retirement to 5 smaller buildings for a small company called Mountain Development in New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
And it's a really good gig. I mean, it fits me perfectly. I like it. I love the people I work with. So it's awesome. I really do like it. Got about 1.5 years, 2 years left, and I'll slide off into
Wow.
retirement.
Good for you. Good for you. Now you have a family as well.
I do. I don't have any children of my own,
Okay.
but my wife Janet, who we've only been married for 2.5 years, almost 3. So yeah, it's been great.
And I met your beautiful wife, and I love her.
And in essence, the club brought me and Janet together. So it
Oh,
was,
really?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was.
How did you meet?
It was kind of crazy. I was in a relationship with a lady from Oxford, and that's kind of how I met the club, was through her. She worked at the same facility as Eddie and
Oh, wow.
another guy, and I started riding with them, and they asked me to join the club, and I went
Right.
through the whole probation and all of that stuff, and I joined
Yeah.
the club. So, but farther down the road, when my relationship ended with the other girl, my wife had an apartment, and her tenant was one of our club members, and I think you've met him, Dave.
Oh, yeah. Love Dave.
So Dave was was her tenant, and said, "Geez, she says, I love bikers, and you don't have anybody that's single in your club?" And he said, "Well, I got one that just went on the market."
I love it.
So, in essence, so he's kind of like lied to me and said, "Oh, my back hurts, and she wants to go to this event." It was a pig roast, and she says she wanted to go to that event, and
Right.
why don't you ride? Well, why doesn't she ride with you? So I drove up to the house and met
Right.
my wife, and obviously
Yeah,
it wasn't my
yeah,
wife, but
yeah.
we rode together, and we went to this pig roast, and we got there, and I asked her, do you want a drink? And she says, "Yeah, give me a bourbon, will you?" And I went, that's what I drink. Hold on. So that was pretty good.
Right.
Went out and we had some lunch and stuff, and there was a whole bunch of these little vendors in tents.
Right.
So I said, "Well, excuse me for a minute. I'm going to go over to this tent and get a cigar to go with my bourbon." So I went over and I get a cigar. She's standing right next to me. She gets a cigar. Well, okay, that's pretty good.
I'm impressed, Jan.
So we come back and we started having. We had the pig roast portion
Yeah.
of the thing. And we got down and we're having another drink, and she says, "You want to go look at all the rest of the tents?" I says, "Yeah, sure." So we started walking around looking at the other tents, and we get to this one tent, and they had holsters for, handgun
Oh, I
holsters.
love this. I love it.
And she reaches into a pocketbook, pulls out a gun, she says, "You got something for this?" I said, "That's it. What am I looking around at? Anybody else wants? A perfect woman for me."
That's amazing. Oh, I
So-
love that.
And I was kind of like on the, biker planet, dating other people.
Yeah.
And I said, "What am I doing this for? I got this
You got
lovely
the
lady
perfect
here."
one
I
right
said,
there. Oh my God, I
So
love it.
we
And
just
it's funny
started.
because it seems like a lot of the guys, it seems like we've met our wives through the club.
That's wild.
Club events. Or,
Club, yeah, it has
Really?
been like that, and it's funny because a lot of us, it wasn't something like we were searching for.
Right.
Within
Yeah.
the thing, we're doing our thing, boom, boom, boom.
That's when they say, I mean, listen, I haven't been looking for a while. It still hasn't happened, but they say when you're not looking, right?
That's
when you
when it-
least
that's when it
expect
happens.
it, it's
Yeah.
going to happen.
Because that's exactly how it happened with me and my wife. It was
Yeah.
the same thing. It was
Isn't
a
that
motorcycle
crazy?
event that we did, and actually, same motorcycle event was the time that I actually met Bob for the first
Yep.
time.
Yeah.
And it was that, and she was a bartender at the last event part we were doing.
Oh my God.
And then, like, she'll admit it now, because before she didn't, and as soon as I told her, I still have the text messages, right? So she stalked me for the first couple of months,
I love it.
trying to
love
find
it.
out about me and stuff like that.
Right.
And then we ended up, talking more and stuff like that. And then we decided to start dating. But it's funny how it's a
Yeah.
lot of us
Yeah.
ends up being with the club.
You know, the club life, people tend to judge bikers and in general. And, they also tend to judge clubs, bikers and clubs. You guys wear these vests with, and we'll talk about that after, but, I've come to love, I am a biker. I am a biker. I brought my helmet to show you.
Nice.
So yeah, I had to take stickers off because the guy I was dating at one point in my life didn't like the stickers I had on. So now it's all sticky with a crud.
ones.
But I have bitch free zone. It is what it is, which how funny
Yep.
I have the show now. It is
Yep.
what it is. My breast cancer ribbon. I love crazy bitch because I am a crazy bitch. But been there, done that. But anyways, I love my helmet. I always do wear my helmet, and I did on that ride that we're going to talk
Absolutely,
about too.
yeah.
Yeah, but I've learned, that there's so many amazing people in the biker community. It's just it's incredible. Listen, I was one years ago. You know the Dewdrop Inn, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, in Derby. Yep. And it was always a famous place for bikers. And every time you drive by, you would see tons of bikes out there. And I remember driving by, be always looking oh my God, I was a little nervous,
Yeah.
I would never stop there. This is years ago. And I was probably in my 20s. And I was not afraid of bikers, but I was a little intimidated, I guess. And then I found myself immersed in the whole biker community.
Right.
I love it. I love it. I love the people I've met, amazing people. So when did you guys start riding?
Well, I started real late. Never rode dirt bikes, ATVs, or anything. And actually, for me, ended up happening was in 2008 when gas prices started going up. I was right here trying to look for an easier way to get
Yeah.
to work, travel, this and that. So I looked into the whole motorcycle thing, and it was actually at that time my ex-wife, probably the one good thing that came out of the marriage, actually pushed me
Right.
to get a motorcycle
Right.
license and stuff like that. So I did, and then I got the bike, and then I started riding it, and it was just primarily going back and forth to work.
Right.
And then when I started actually getting a little more comfortable, I actually took a trip. My ex-wife had left to go visit her family, and I was like, you know what, this is my chance to get on the bike.
Yeah.
So I took a chance. I took the bike, and I went from Waterbury, Connecticut at the time. That's where I was living at. I went from Waterbury, Connecticut, and drove all the way up to Scarborough, Maine by myself.
Wow.
And it was the very first time even hitting the highway.
Wow.
Because in the beginning, when I went back and forth to work,
Yeah.
I took all back roads. I wasn't,
Yeah.
you get
Yeah.
those jitters, especially jumping on the highway.
I know.
So I took that huge chance and went to Scarborough, Maine.
Oh, wow.
I stayed overnight, met a couple of friends, and then I rode back, and I literally hit every type of scenario you will hit as a biker riding out there. The rainstorms,
Oh,
the
jeez.
constructions of the roads being ripped up.
Yeah.
Every scenario.
It was
would
a
think
good
of.
learning lesson, a
Yeah.
good learning
Even-
experience.
Probably the worst part is when I left, stupid me,
Yeah.
not thinking, Maine.
Yeah.
I left at night,
Yeah.
and I start seeing the signs that says moose crossing.
Oh, geez.
Beware of moose.
You-
So now I'm driving through pitch darkness,
Right, right.
not knowing what I'm running into, and now I got the white knuckles. I got the helmet. I'm looking back and forth, and obviously my motorcycle only had this one headlight.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm just worrying about it. It's funny. I got the visor up. I'm smelling animals on the side of me, not seeing what I'm seeing.
Right.
So, but yeah, I learned.
That is a
quick.
hazard. Yeah, that is a hazard when you're riding. I learned that.
Yeah, I learned it real quick.
Wow.
And then it was a couple of years later, and then I got approached about joining the club.
Yeah. Wow. So tell me, we have about a minute. When did you start riding?
1979.
Oh, a long time ago.
Took a little hiatus, started back up again when I was 50. My wife at the time was going through breast cancer, and the whole time we were married, she was afraid to ride. And when she was facing all of this stuff with breast cancer, she said, let's get a bike.
Awesome.
So we did, and she started riding with me, and she loved. Matter of fact, I I bought her a pink set of leathers.
Oh, I love that.
She loved it. Yeah, it was great.
I love
But,
it.
yeah,
I
been
love it.
riding been riding ever since.
Well, that's why I started riding, because of my breast cancer. Something I always wanted to do, and I finally said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do it. Life is too short."
It is what it is.
It is what it is. So yes. On that note, we'll be right back after this commercial break. Don't go anywhere. More from Wolverine and Rooster when we come back.
Do you or a loved one need the care of a nursing home? A vibrant community to call home where there are healthcare professionals available 24/7? Candlewood Valley Health and Rehabilitation, located in New Milford, Connecticut, has been offering award-winning care for over 40 years. Whether you are rehabilitating from a cardiac procedure or hip replacement, or seeking a place for your loved one to live where he or she can receive top-notch health care, our team is at the ready. We also accept veteran benefits and offer a special secure memory care unit for residents with Alzheimer's or cognitive-related conditions. Call us at 860-355-0971. Candlewood Valley Health and Rehabilitation, a place to heal and thrive. Ballas Associates, sales, service, and support for all your computer and PC networking needs. Whether it's wired or wireless, upgrades or repairs, backup or disaster recovery, we can provide the solutions to all your PC needs. No need to get frustrated. You know a guy. Just call Ballas Associates at 203-792-2300. That's 203-792-2300. Or visit them online at ballasassociates.com.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is. We have Rooster and we have Wolverine. How are you?
Good.
Awesome.
Good.
Good. So tell us a little bit about you. You're wearing these vests, these cuts. So, Law Dog. When was Law Dogs. When
So
was it
the
first formed?
Law Dogs Motorcycle Club was started in 1996.
Okay.
It obviously was at that time all law enforcement. So there was a wide range of different law enforcement officers that started the club. Started in 96 here in Connecticut,
Yeah.
It
We got 3 Connecticut people here anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it started in Connecticut. It actually grew. It grew. That it ended up, having in New York, in Massachusetts, in New Jersey, Rhode Island, South Carolina,
Wow.
Alabama,
Oh, wow.
and it was all primarily law enforcement. And then, through the years, then it switched over to start having civilians and stuff like that.
Why? Why did it start?
It started getting to a point of a lot of law enforcement agencies. They started frowning upon people joining into clubs because of that
Right.
ideal, the image. People thinking bikers are all bad.
Right. Right.
So it was actually getting tougher and tougher to recruit people to come in.
Okay.
And then some people that were already in,
Yeah.
they were like, listen, I have to leave. I have to go, my agency, the job, this and that.
Because it would affect their job.
Right.
Right.
So it started getting tougher, and then all of a sudden, one year, they started venturing into bringing in non-LEOs in.
LEO is law enforcement.
Law enforcement officers,
Okay.
and then the non-LEO or non-law
Yeah.
enforcement officers, which that's what Rooster is.
Yeah.
And
But a lot of times, even back then,
Yeah.
a law enforcement officer that would be a member of the club would say, "Well, hey, look, I ride all the time on most of the weekends with my brother-in-law,
Yeah.
and he's not a police officer, but I'd love him to be part of the club." And
Right.
that
Right.
was part of the, I guess I want to say, the impetus to bring other people
Right.
into the club, so
Right.
Right,
we could
right.
expand the family.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, what kind of background? Do you do background checks on? Because, again, law enforcement,
Yeah.
do you make
Background
sure that
checks.
you don't have any criminals in your...
Background checks on everybody.
Yeah, yeah.
So there is an application process. Fill out the application. On there, you obviously will check off if you're law enforcement
Yeah.
or if you're non-law enforcement. And then once we get that, then we have a waiver, which that's what you would
Okay.
put down what agency you work for, and we
Yeah.
just verify. hey, so and so
Right.
work for this agency. Okay, we know he's a cop.
Yeah.
On the other hand, with the they bring that. We verify their job, but they have to bring a background check.
Okay.
So that's when we check, and then we make the decision
Smart.
as far as what is in the background check. Listen, everybody's making mistakes.
Of course.
It happens.
Yeah.
And we'll pick a member of the club. If we have somebody that's interested in joining the club, we'll pick a member of the club, or somebody will volunteer and say, look, I'll ride with this guy, find out what I can about him, find out his personality, find out how good he rides, find out how much experience he has, and that's all part of the process. We ride with these guys for a while. We do meet and greets with them before they even apply.
Right.
Because at some point in time, we may have somebody that we've already made the decision we don't want them in our club, and
Yeah.
we won't give them an application. We'll just say, okay, sorry, we can't do that.
Yeah. No, that's great. I know there's a whole process. Well, first, how are you accepted by all the other clubs? Because there's so many clubs out there, and there's some rivalries, amongst clubs.
Well, we don't get, obviously, with the rivalry part of it. We don't get ourselves involved
Right.
in it and this and that. We're definitely a neutral club. What we do is we go to a lot of the events.
Yeah.
A lot of the clubs already know the Law Dogs because, especially up in Connecticut, they already know from the history.
Right.
But with us, is always networking, and we meet with them. We treat everybody equal, and this is even with 1% clubs.
Yeah.
With 1% clubs, we give them their respect and stuff like that. We don't, even though we're law enforcement club. We're not here doing law enforcement duties.
I was going to ask you that. Do you
Right.
you
Yeah.
put that, you leave that at home?
Yeah.
Right.
As you're not working. You're just a group of guys.
Now we're just a bunch of guys.
Right.
Yeah, having fun, riding, sharing a common interest,
Right.
motorcycles.
Yeah.
The love of motorcycles. Yeah, brotherhood.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other part, the fact that some of our group is law enforcement. We as a club together support law enforcement activities, or law enforcement. Like
Yeah.
we lost a couple of fellow officers down in Bristol this week,
Terrible. Yeah.
and those are the things that help join us together. Because we love motorcycles, but we also love the life. So
Right. And community. It's a
Yep.
sense of community, brotherhood. Yeah. What you mentioned, 1%ers. Now, I know what it is, but if you could tell everybody, what is a 1%er club?
So, 1% clubs is obviously different than law enforcement. They have their different sets of rules and stuff like that. I don't want to bring the light, because some people out there automatically, 1% clubs, bad clubs, this and that. Listen, it's just like any occupation.
Yeah.
It's just like anything. You're going to have the bad apples. And what some people end up doing is, you have that bad apple, they judge everybody that's
Yes.
in that occupation
So
bad
true.
apple.
So true.
And it boils down to bikers.
Yeah.
Everybody
does.
thinks that bikers are bad.
Yeah.
And it's not. And year to year, the biker community, believe it or not, is the biggest community that actually give out to charities the most.
absolutely.
The most.
Yeah.
And as a biker, we will help everybody out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 1% clubs are they're different clubs than some of the obviously law enforcement. There's firefighter clubs. There's
Yep.
so many. There's riding clubs. There's social clubs.
Yeah.
So there's different categories. So 1% clubs, they have their own. It's one
They're-
category
right.
type deal, but we don't have issues with them.
Right.
Yes, this is their rivalries. There is, but that's a whole different ball of wax.
Yeah, you guys are
that
not
we
part
don't,
of
we
any of
don't-
that.
Yeah, we don't get involved
Yeah.
in or anything like that.
Yeah. Now, are you allowed to have women in your club?
Not currently.
We don't, and it's ever since the club was established. Obviously, this is way before me.
Yeah.
When I became president, it was just one of those things that it's to protect the women. The last thing they want is one of the women getting hurt, especially if they go ride by themselves. If somebody has an issue,
Right, right, right.
type deal. So it was just more of the better of our interest that it's just an all.
But you know, it's pretty common with most clubs anyway.
Yeah.
They're mostly men. It's almost like a fraternity in a sense. I mean, in a fraternity, you don't have women, but there are lady riding clubs. I mean, I was involved in one.
Right, absolutely.
And I joined because I was missing. I was going through my journey with breast cancer. I actually talk about it in my book, and I was missing a sense of family because my family walked out of my life, and I thought, gosh, how nice would it be? Because I had just started. I learned how to ride. How nice to have a sisterhood. How nice to have a family. And it didn't turn out that way. It wasn't the club for me, and it's not always the right fit. You know, I did everything, you know, the hang around, the whatever, the prospecting, I did everything. And, you know, I got patched in, and it wasn't for me. But, you know, maybe another ladies riding club would have been, you know. So how long, tell me the process. Like, what is the process in joining your club?
Well,
First of all, you are the treasurer,
I am the treasurer.
and
yeah.
you,
And I'm the president.
okay. How long, wait, can I ask how long you've been treasurer?
God, it's almost like since I got patched in.
I was gonna say it was almost probably since you've been writing.
And I can, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, from the very beginning, I was the treasurer of at one time, we were divided into two groups.
Okay.
The law enforcement side.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, a lot of sheriffs, law enforcement,
Yeah.
always had a posse.
Yeah.
And that was our claim to fame, was the posse. And
Okay.
we had our own little structure, you
Right.
know, secretary, vice president, president of the posse.
Right.
And we brought the whole club together years ago, and I was the treasurer of the posse, and everybody liked the job that I was doing. So when
Awesome.
we joined, I continued as the treasurer. And I can tell you that I happened to see this the other day. I got patched into the club on August 4th, 2014.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's when I got that was the day that I got patched in.
Yep.
At the club
the,
where
it used
at
to
the
be
club
Canoe
with
Club.
Jen.
Okay.
Yeah, the
In
canoe
Middletown,
club.
there was a Manabasset Canoe Club that was right off the Connecticut River,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it was there we had the event. And
Oh,
we did that.
nice.
So that's when I got patched in, and I swear I've been treasurer ever since.
Guess you're good with money.
It's good.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Don't change the wheel if it's still turning.
That's right.
It's working,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. How long you been president?
I've had many different roles. I've been
Okay.
president right now for this club, for this chapter, at least probably 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
Let's say 5.
Yeah, prior to that,
Nice.
I've done secretary, I've done treasurer,
Oh, wow.
I've done national treasurer for them when we had a national youth board. But then prior to when I went to the LEO side, I was actually came up to the posse.
Oh, wow.
And I was actually at one point I was the president of the posse.
Yeah.
I was a secretary, and then later on became president. Before I ended up doing the switch over to help
Wow.
out on the national level.
Wow. So how do you get into this club? Like, what do you do to get in? What's the step? What's the process?
Well, basically, we start out that, you know, if we'll go to an event, or you know, our guys will be stopping for a drink while we're out riding, and people will talk to us, and they'll express some interest, and we invite them to ride with us, and you know, we just kind of get to know them. You know, hey, look, we're going out Sunday. We're going to do this.
Yeah.
You want to ride along? Come on. So we'll bring them along, and we'll get to know them a little bit.
And that's usually called the hang around status.
Okay.
They're not in the club,
Yeah.
but they're like friends of ours. Hey, we invite them to an event.
Yeah.
They'll come. So it's a way of us
Do they have to
getting.
ride in the back?
If we're on formation, if we're in our
Yeah.
group, they stay in the back.
There's rules.
officers, members,
Yeah.
ride-alongs.
Okay.
So at a point that they've been riding around for 6-8 months or so, you know, if they're still hanging around, we know that they're still interested in
Yeah.
being part of, you know, it's a two-way street.
Sure.
We want them to know and like and want to be with us.
Right.
So we develop that relationship during the hang-around process. And if they decide that they still want to become a member of the club, then we partially patch them in as a probationary member, and you get the top rocker, the bottom rocker, the MC, but no center patch.
Yeah.
And then we ride for at least 6 months as a probationary member.
Right.
And we don't do the stuff to our, like a lot of clubs,
Yeah.
geez, go out, wash my bike, go do this for me, go do
Yeah.
that for me. We don't do any of
I
that
had
stuff.
to do some of that stuff.
Yeah, we don't get into that.
The girls made me do it, not wash a bike, but
The biggest thing is it's more participation.
yeah.
When we're going on a ride, you're gonna
Yeah.
go. If we have a meeting, are you there? We still keep our motto in the club is always family first, the job second, the club's
us
third.
third.
I love that. Family
And-
first.
Yeah, and if you and it goes the
Yeah.
same way with if you're in a prospect stage or in a hang around. Hey, if we're going to an event, and we let you know. If
Yeah.
you can't do it because hey, I'm watching my kids, or hey, something's going on, I have a
Right.
family event, or I'm working. We're not going to all of a sudden, punish
Right.
you saying, oh, you know what, that's an X mark.
Right.
We understand. We're all in the same boat. We all
Yeah.
have crazy schedules.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I think that's great because I have seen myself, because I know a lot of people, like I say, in the biker world now, over the years, the last 6 years I've been riding, I've seen marriages and relationships fall apart because of the club life, because the club comes first in a lot of other clubs.
That's right.
Yeah.
Some of the bigger
Yeah.
1% clubs are very much that way.
Yeah.
And to make it clear, what we're explaining is obviously what our club does.
That's right.
Of course.
We're not
Every
speaking
club-
for anybody
Yeah.
else.
Every club has something
Exactly.
different, a
Yeah,
different way of
yeah.
doing things.
Different bylaws, different, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
we do it this way only because we have a variety
Yeah.
of different people with different occupations and all
Yeah.
that stuff. It's understandable how
Yeah.
the schedule can be.
I love how it works. But we're gonna take a quick break. All right. So don't go anywhere. More from Rooster and Wolverine. When we come back after this commercial break.
get your claws.
Don't go anywhere.
Silvermine at Home, a Connecticut-based non-medical home care agency servicing Connecticut and parts of New York. Silvermine caters to their clients' needs while offering peace of mind to their families so their loved one can age in place and live their best life possible. Call today to see how they can make a difference in you or your loved one's life. Our family caring for yours. Visit silvermineathome.com or call 203-228-5007. Do you or a loved one need the care of a nursing home? A vibrant community to call home where there are healthcare professionals available 24/7? Candlewood Valley Health and Rehabilitation, located in New Milford, Connecticut, has been offering award-winning care for over 40 years. Whether you are rehabilitating from a cardiac procedure or hip replacement, or seeking a place for your loved one to live where he or she can receive top-notch health care, our team is at the ready. We also accept veteran benefits and offer a special secure memory care unit for residents with Alzheimer's or cognitive-related conditions. Call us at 860-355-0971. Candlewood Valley Health and Rehabilitation, a place to heal and thrive.
Hey there! I'm Captain Splish. I'm the superhero of swimming. I'll teach you to be water safe with all my swimming skills, along with all my sing-along friends here in Splish Splashville. Myrtle the turtle, Octi the octopus, Starry the starfish, and that's just a few. You'll learn all about what your body can do. My superpower is to teach with song and rhyme, and that helps you remember what you learn every time. You'll learn to float and you'll learn to swim, from blowing bubbles to jumping in. Each week, you'll learn something new. You'll be amazed at what your body can do. I'm so excited for you to see the show, but now Captain Splash has to go. See you soon. Bye.
Welcome back to It Is What It Is with Cindy Seville. We have Wolverine and we have Rooster here. So tell me a little bit about church. What is church? I'm a Jewish girl and I went to church when I was in the club.
Yeah, so church, obviously, our version of church is obviously not actually going to a
Yeah,
real
yeah.
church and stuff like that.
Right.
Even though I am an ordained minister.
Wow.
But
What don't you do?
yeah, but church is basically it's meetings. It's when we just have meetings.
Right.
And for us, we do it every monthly.
Okay.
We just go over stuff as far as the club, go over stuff as far as what we want to do, treasurer report. We talk about our, people that are hanging out with us,
Yeah.
people that are prospecting, finding out what everybody's input,
Yeah.
what's going on. If we don't have anything, it's still
Right.
our time to hang out.
Absolutely.
Just a get together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in the winter time when,
Yeah.
obviously now you talk about snow, we're not riding as much.
Yeah.
But it's still a chance that we can still hang out.
So you guys do a lot of great things. I mean, I'll tell you, the way I met you both through Dave Hill. I love Dave. And he's become a good friend over the years. We went riding once, probably when I was brand new on my bike, and I guess I did pretty good, he said. But that's when I first learned about you guys, Law Dogs. And but you guys do a lot of great things. You helped me with my recent bike run. It was my first ever. And boy, I mean, Dave gave me a lot of great advice. Of course, I did everything last minute. But it
Yeah.
really turned out well. And
Yeah.
you and Jan were part of it.
Yep, that's
And
great.
yeah, and you had a few other guys there.
Yep.
And I have to say thank you so much, for doing that, for helping me, because my first time ever, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I decided that when my time comes, I want to regret, if I'm going to regret anything, I want to regret the things I did do, not the things I didn't. So I decided I wanted to live my life as fully as possible. That meant I always wanted to ride a motorcycle. So I decided I was going to learn. Anyways, that's how but one of the things I always wanted to do, and I had mentioned it on the ride, is to do a breast cancer fundraiser, a ride, a breast cancer run, I guess,
Right,
bike run.
right.
And I never did, because I never felt secure enough on the bike to ride with large groups of people. And so I never did. So this was a great, a great opportunity, I should say, for my little dream to come true. And you guys really helped me with that. I learned a lot. I mean, huge learning curve.
Yeah.
But what a great event it was. I mean,
We had a great time.
Right?
We had a great time. We really did.
yeah,
We really had a great
but I couldn't have done it without you guys. You guys really, took the lead. I thank you. I mean, you had the blocker, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Which was awesome, which I felt so safe every time. I had tears in my eyes every time. I'm like, thank you. Because you really made it a safe ride, which
Yeah.
made it more enjoyable. You didn't have to worry about anything, and you guys led it. And I thank you, and I want you to do it every year with us, with me.
And that's why it's always a thing that people say, why do you do that? And then all of a sudden, when we do events and we post our pictures,
Yeah.
I put out there, this is what we do. We do this for this reason.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of clubs, they do that. Firefighter clubs,
Yeah.
do it for burn victims.
Yeah.
Everybody, it's like a community. It's like that village. Something happens,
Yeah.
the village comes together.
Yeah. So what are some of the other things that you've done? I mean, you've done tons and tons of things over the years.
Our mandatory ride that we do every year is and actually I have the band here is the Peter Lavery ride.
Oh, wow.
This officer
Out of
passed
Bristol.
away, I think about 18 years ago now on a domestic violence. He was a police officer for
Oh, wow.
Newington Motor Cop, and pretty much it was, from my understanding, was like an ambush
Wow.
style. But we do that event every year. And
you raise so you do a run, you
Yep.
raise money.
Yeah, we help raise money. We're a 501c3
Oh, you are.
charity as well.
Oh, wow.
So we're kind of prepared for whatever comes up
Yeah.
that we can do.
That's awesome. That's
and
awesome.
with all the other clubs that we network, they'll give us a
Right.
thing. Hey, we're doing an event for this, and okay.
Right.
Sometimes we'll get even clubs sending us stuff that we notice. Oh shoot, it's happening the same day.
Yeah.
So sometimes with
And
that,
it's halfway across the country.
yeah, yeah. But what we'll do is we'll try to accommodate, and we'll make a decision. Say, hey, you know what? Let's do a split club. So we'll have
Yeah.
some of the guys.
What we
go
did
to
the
one.
day of your event, we
Yep.
had 2 events the same
Yeah.
day. So some of the people went
Yeah.
to the other ride, and me and Dave and some other guys came to your ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we make sure we try to do as many charity runs as we could possibly can.
Right.
Obviously, we can't make every one of them. We wish we could.
Right, of course.
You know, but we try to go as much as we can. And then, if we ever do an event, it's always good because a lot of these clubs know us. And when we
Right.
put it out, they're right here saying, we'll be there,
Well, everybody supports each other,
Yes.
and there's such a camaraderie, right, amongst bikers, whether you're in a club or you're not in a club. I mean, I know when I'm driving my car, I make sure I protect. I don't even know the biker, and I make sure that biker in front of me has enough space. Nobody's, going near, and I will actually stay behind the biker and protect the biker. I find myself doing that a lot. Bikers are pulled over. I've actually pulled over, and here I am, a single woman. I will pull over and help a biker.
Right.
I've done it numerous times. Make sure they're okay, and usually they are. They're pulling over to make a phone call or whatever it is. But people have done that for bikers. Have done that for me. I've broken down numerous times on my bike.
And it's funny, you'll also see when somebody's broken down on the side.
Yeah.
They're dealing with it, trying to figure out what's
Yeah.
going on the bike. Here comes a truck goes by or a SUV. They go by it. Hey, you okay? This and that. Yeah, I'm good. And when you see them go by,
Yeah.
then you see like that Harley Davidson sticker or something,
Yes.
and then you're like,
Yes.
he's a biker.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
yes.
He rides.
Exactly.
And it's funny, and that's the reason why you see the whole hand signal thing too as
I
you're
love
riding
that.
past.
Yes, I do that all the time. Do you know, in the beginning, I could barely ride. I mean, I'm really not the strongest rider. I freely admit it. But I remember going through curves, and I'm like, I'm like, all right, wait a minute. Only if it's safe.
Right.
Yeah.
You can give the nod. A
Yeah,
lot
the
of
nod,
times, too.
exactly. But there is, yeah. And when people don't do it, it pisses me off. I'm like, jerk.
Well, you also got to realize too, there's some people that don't even know that still.
Well,
That
that's
they're
true.
just starting to ride and they
Yeah,
don't know
but
what
some
that
people
signal.
know and they just don't care. But
Right.
no, but most people, yes. I mean, the camaraderie. And I have to say, I find bikers really sexy. I mean, but I really do. Anybody on a bike, any guy on a bike in leather is just pretty hot to me. So they just are. The sound of the bike is hot.
Yeah.
When you hear the motorcycle, you're like, your head turns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're sitting at a restaurant. You're sitting, whatever.
You hear the pipes, you hear the noise.
Yeah, the louder. Now, is it true the louder the pipes, the safer? They hear you.
Different people,
Oh, yeah.
different people see it in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, and to a lot of the bikers,
Yeah.
I would say yeah, because the whole thing is that when you're riding, if you're seeing somebody drifting off to your lane, I mean, right off the bat,
Yeah.
as a biker, you get your hand on that throttle. You're not thinking about, let me hit the horn. And sometimes
Exactly.
the horn is not the loudest.
Exactly.
So given that quick rev,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, following behind you, I know that
Yeah.
that's not the loudest in your repertoire.
yeah. Sorry. Talk to Dave on that one. He doesn't like it when I'm next to him.
Me either.
Well, I got to tell you, when I was first learning how to ride my motorcycle, I had a Sportster 1200, and then I sold it. I got a 92 Heritage. And, but with the Sportster, it wasn't even that loud. I had Vance and Hines pipes
Yeah.
on my 92 Heritage. I was louder.
Oh, yeah.
But with the Sportster going up and down my street, because before I failed the class the first time. Right. So I got the permit. I had to practice a lot. And so I went up and down my street a lot. And one of the neighbors, they're still there, jerks. They were pissed. I know. They were pissed because it was noisy. They thought it was noisy. And I only went during the day when people were awake. I wouldn't go early in the morning or late at night. I mean, obviously. Yeah. And, I had to learn somewhere. And all the other neighbors were wonderful. They were all like, good job, Sid, because they saw how hard I practiced. Oh, my God. And literally, I have a small street. So, I mean, up and down with a hill, though, up and down. Then, let me tell you, after I learned that they were upset with me and the noise, don't you know it, when I got that 92 Heritage and the Vance and Hines pipes.
You ran up and down that street.
And you know which house, in front of which house I would...
It's funny with my bike, it's gotten to a point, it's a distinctive sound
Yeah.
that a lot of these guys, when we're meeting up with the community and all that stuff, like they hear it, they're
You
like,
know
Yeah,
what?
we hear it. We
Yep,
know.
here's
Oh, that's
Wolverine,
that-
he's coming.
Yeah, here he is.
he's on the way. And my bike, when it starts
love
and
it.
everything, it sounds like a muscle car.
Yeah.
That's the reason. It
I
just
love
has
that
a different
sound. I love that sound. My daughter, her boyfriend, you could hear him from 3 streets away. It's not a motorcycle, though. It's a car, a race car. But oh my God! But
Yeah.
sometimes I think it's a motorcycle.
Yep.
So, are there any? I mean, there are other LEO clubs
Oh,
out
yes.
there.
Oh, yeah.
Lots.
Okay. Do you ever do things with them? Do you ever have events with other?
Yeah, we'll go.
Well, we'll support them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they support when they send out flyers.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. We'll set up who can go.
We've done the Punishers in New York have a very good size 9/11 run where they actually go right into the 9/11
Oh
site.
yeah, I know that.
They go
one,
from
yes.
they go from the horse racing track.
Yeah.
Anyway, out here on Long Island.
Yeah.
And they go across. They go into the city. It's all guided cops.
Right.
All the blocking, and right back out when you come out. You come right out through Broadway, and it's
Wow.
absolutely awesome.
And it's
Wow.
shut down.
Yeah.
Like this is that one event. Like when they do have it, if you've never gone to it, definitely give a chance. And shout out to the Punishers because they do an awesome job with it.
Yeah.
But what they
Yeah.
do is when it gets down to Times Square, it's the streets are shut down. You don't normally get that.
Yeah, no.
They'll get everything. They'll try to do everything as much as they can. You even go through the World Trade Center area.
That's awesome.
You'll go through all the areas down there, and they have everything shut down. So
Do you do it every year? That right?
We try.
We try.
Yeah.
We didn't go this
Yeah.
year, but oh god, we got drowned the last one too. So it was,
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
tough because it's like I think I mentioned one time when we had a conversation before. September, it's
Oh,
like
yes.
that big month that everybody's doing something.
You're right.
There's several in Connecticut. There's several 9/11
Yep.
rides in Connecticut.
Yeah.
And some of them are by other Leo clubs. So
Right.
it's tough to make the choice. The one for the Punishers that went, obviously going right into the 9/11 site,
Right.
right into the tower, right into the Twin Towers, and past the new 9/11 memorial.
Right.
That's awesome. So it's like a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
And it's always different. As a biker,
Yeah.
riding on the bike,
Yeah.
even though you've gone to the place, you've been there in a car, but when you take a bike and you go through this,
Yes.
it's a whole different experience.
You really experience
Yeah.
things on
Yeah,
a
yeah.
bike. It is so exhilarating. You feel people, some people are afraid of bikes, but once you get on it, like I tell everybody, try it. Don't knock it until you try it. You feel so alive. I mean, so alive on that bike,
World of smells. and-
Yes. Everything smells good, even cow manure.
Oh, it's
Doesn't
like,
it?
Yeah, it does. It does great.
Because you're alive. It reminds
You're
you.
going by, somebody's cutting the line. Oh,
Yes.
that's great.
Yes, and you don't get that in the car.
No.
And I always say I don't have a need for speed. In a car, yes, but on a bike, no. Because I personally love to enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you see everything. If you're going so fast, I've got to concentrate on keeping up with everybody.
And the only people that know how are the ones that ride, understand that you know what, there is a therapy. A therapy on riding.
so
If you're
therapeutic.
having a bad day at work,
Yes.
you're having whatever issues, whatever the case may
Yeah.
be, you decide to get on that bike and you go even for a short ride,
Yeah.
and you can sit there, the wind's hitting you, and,
Yeah.
and you might close your eyes, but it's the wind therapy,
It
and that's
totally
what we
is.
call it, that wind therapy.
Yep.
I saw this little thing on Facebook once a long time ago. You'll never see a bike outside a therapist's office.
Hanging in on the wall in my office.
But I am the one. Okay, I counter that. So when I was going through breast cancer, I was going for counseling, and I would take my bike and I brought it to my counselor, and I would actually she would crack up because I was just starting with the bike, and she would just crack up and she'd look at me all dressed in my leather and everything, and she got such a kick. She was a little tiny Barbie doll. She got such a kick out of it. And by the way, I'm wearing some of my many
Julie.
rings. I had to look badass for you guys,
Nice.
my biker bitch attitudes,
There we go.
look. I used to wear I have so many more at home. I didn't wear all these at once, but I just did it for fun for you guys, in honor of you guys.
Nice, thanks, thank you.
Listen, we're out of time, but I want you to tell everybody how they can find you and the Law Dogs.
We got two. The biggest place will be on Facebook. We have two sites. One is, I believe, is the Law Dogs Founding Chapter Connecticut, and then the other one is Law Dogs Motorcycle Club.
Okay.
When you pop that up, it'll show our behind our patch, the vest. So you could go on there. If you can hit us up on there on the messenger if you're interested in joining, stuff like that, and we'll contact you
What's
through
the
there.
difference? Tell us quickly the difference between the two patches.
So on our patches, on the back center patch, we have the shield with the bulldog. One of them has a thin blue line.
Okay.
With the bulldog with the purple eyes, and then the other one, it's opposite.
Line.
Thin purple line
Okay.
with the blue eyes. So what
Love it.
it shows is the bulldog with the purple eyes is watching the law enforcement's back with the thin blue line in their back. And then it's vice versa the other side. The other side has the thin purple line with the
Right.
bulldog with the blue eyes. That's the law enforcement watching the
love
the
it.
civilians back.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So it's just supporting both
Absolutely.
sides.
You guys are awesome. You do awesome things.
Thank
Keep
you.
doing awesome things. You really are a great representation of the biker community. And I thank you. But I'm blessed to know both of you and call you friends.
Same thing.
No, it's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Really.
Can't wait to do your ride again next year.
Oh, it's gonna be-
We're geared up for it.
Woo! But we'll get more of your guys.
Yeah.
And I will be much more organized.
Yeah.
and next year it
Get
will.
us a date. Get us a date. We'll get it on the calendar.
Okay, awesome. And next year it's going to benefit the American Cancer Society.
Okay,
Oh, excellent.
very
They
good.
did a
Yeah.
lot of work
Very
for
good.
me too. They did a lot of stuff for me too.
See? Yeah.
And that's what this hat. A cousin of mine's husband passed away 8 years ago, and they have a thing called the Spud Run up in upstate New York.
Yeah.
Like 15 minutes away to borderline. And this means cancer.
I love it.
And it's a whole thing
I
they've
love
been
it.
doing for going on 8 years. And I went
love
this
it.
year, and they're planning on it next year again. I'm definitely going up there because it was a beautiful ride.
Awesome.
Up near Busher Falls, New York.
Awesome. Well, we're going to definitely plan it for next year.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, we'll be happy to be there.
Thank you. Well, thank you both for being on the show.
Thank
I
you for
appreciate
having
you
us.
making the
No
ride.
problem.
I'm going to finish with my final thoughts. So, final thoughts. Don't judge a book by its cover. Just because bikers look badass, well, we are badass. Bikers, I am still a biker. Bikers are badass, but biggest hearts ever. So don't judge a book by its cover. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll see you next week. Remember, comment, like, and share if you want to win the giveaway. See you next time.
Live your life like a dreamer. Fly all over the world. Open your shell so the world can see. You're a beautiful pearl. Live your day like you mean it. And don't forget who you are. You're free to go